but we know what it's like for these things to be missing in our Black communities. And so when big opportunities come, you can't take advantage of it because you don't have all the steps on the lever in order to support you in no matter where you are in the ecosystem. So like it's needed in that way. And that's what we built with the Center for Black Innovation and Black Tech Week, was building those components along the way to get to a point where when a Black Ambition funds you, you can go back to your community and you have everything that you need so that that funding doesn't get wasted. Like those are the things that happen in other communities that are, I would never say that they don't exist in Black communities. They can oftentimes be fragmented. So navigating that becomes more of a challenge than it is to just not do anything at all.
All right, so boom, welcome back to another episode of the Black Caliber podcast. I'm here with our lovely guest,
Felicia Hatcher.
right? And she is part of the.
I'm the CEO of Pharrell Williams Black Ambition.
Oh, okay. So can you tell us a little bit more about Black Ambition?
Sure.
I love that name.
Black, I love it too. I am Black Ambition, right? Like we should all go around saying that. It's a opportunity fund that was founded by Pharrell Williams 3 years ago to not only close the wealth gap, but to create uninterrupted opportunities to entrepreneurship and through entrepreneurship, and ultimately be able to create wealth. And so we primarily do our work through a national prize, and that's how we source the entrepreneurs that we mentor, and then ultimately the ones that we end up investing in. And so we've invested in 101 entrepreneurs since the inception of the organization, about $10 million in capital. And those companies have gone on between our mentor network and the ones that we've invested in to raise over probably $93 million at this point.
So do you as the CEO, do you work with some of these companies directly?
So it's like having 101 kids. And so I don't work with each and every one of them directly, but I build the organization and the mentorship and the programs.
Okay.
And then
You're
also
like the trainer that trains the trainer.
I don't train. I train as it relates to a speaker, but we have a mentor network of about 50 mentors that work with our entrepreneurs every single year. We have about 200 application reviewers that go through a few thousand applications every single year to select our mentorship process. And then we just have some really great partners that help us along in the process as well. And so pretty large network of people that play different roles in the process of helping us support, select the entrepreneurs, get them the capital, the resources that they need, train them in the areas that they need, and then connect them to other resources. So retail partners, follow-on capital that they need, sometimes a hug that some entrepreneurs need as well.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, we provide mental health and wellness support for our entrepreneurs, which is really unique in this space of supporting diverse entrepreneurs as well. And so it's really like a holistic process and approach that we take to supporting diverse entrepreneurs.
Okay. So what got you started in this business, in this Black Ambition?
I mean, I've been doing kind of ecosystem building work for
Ecosystem.
Yeah, so building the environment in which someone who has an idea can get every single thing that they need within their city, within their community, within their state, within their country, right? And so it's very much like we know ecosystems that we're looking at the ocean, right? So ecosystems that exist in that, like it's how things function, it's how resources flow, it's how people survive, and you need a really healthy ecosystem in order to do so. And so my husband and I, Derek, over there, we co-founded an organization about 10 years ago called Code Fever, and then that turned into
these names are dope.
You gotta be sticky, right? And then Black Tech Week was a conference that we founded and ran for 7 years, and we sold it 2 years ago. And then 2 years ago, we launched a center for, actually 5 years ago now, we launched a Center for Black Innovation. And so I've been running that with him and another one of our partners, Starix, for years. And then about 3 years ago, I got asked by Pharrell's chief of staff to essentially leave the thing that we had founded and come run this new thing that he had dreamt up. And so, and it's been a fun, wild, crazy, dope ride ever since.
So you had your own thing that you were doing.
Yeah,
and
multiple
you were so
things.
dope that Pharrell heard and wanted you to come.
Yeah, I mean, people are always watching you, right?
Yeah.
And so you always have to realize that. And there are multiple levels in which you can do what you can do, right? And so a lot of the work that we do at Black Ambition can only be possible because of what the work that I've been doing for the past 10 years and kind of building the climate in which these things can survive, right? And so, when you think of an entrepreneur getting, we're always talking about they need to get capital, right? But capital is actually not enough, because if you don't have the right advisors around you, you'll spend through that capital, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have, if you have a CPG product, and that's mostly what we've been talking about at Disrupt, if you don't, if you have a CPG company and you get the capital, but you don't have the retail partners from an e-commerce standpoint, or that can get you on the Target, the shelves of Target or Walmart, you're going to spend through that money and you won't have anything at all, right? Or you will crash and burn really fast. And then it's the mentorship that you need, right? You need colleagues in this space. You need programming. You need networking opportunities to be able to connect you to other resources that you may need, or maybe you need introductions to top talent so that you can build a sustainable company. You might need a co-working space to be able to go work in. You might be a parent and you need to make sure that your kids can have the same opportunities that you are now creating for yourself and others. And so your schools have to be at a high quality. Most Black people are faith-based to a certain extent, and nobody really talks about, like, churches are the business nucleus of Black communities. It's never respected in that way. And so you need your faith-based community to also be intertwined into the entrepreneurial endeavors, because it sits at the core of that. And so those are some of the tentacles of a thriving ecosystem that has to be presented in the city that you live in so that your business can actually grow and scale. And if you're missing any one of those things, it's going to be a longer, harder pathway. And I'm just scratching the surface, right? You need a really great investment environment. You need a certain level of failure capital in your investment environment as well, because you need the capital to actually fail to figure out that you shouldn't do that thing again. And this is the right way to go. And so those are just some, and then you need a healthy governmental federal environment, so that, like, the laws that are being passed are favorable to you as an entrepreneurship, and the regulations don't stand in the way of you being able to grow your company. And if you don't realize all of these things have to come together for you to build a company that creates generational wealth. These are things that sometimes you feel and you fully understand, and these are things that sometimes you do not understand that you benefit from. But we know what it's like for these things to be missing in our Black communities. And so when big opportunities come, you can't take advantage of it because you don't have all the steps on the lever in order to support you in no matter where you are in the ecosystem. So, like, it's needed in that way. And that's what we built with the Center for Black Innovation and Black Tech Week, was building those components along the way to get to a point where when a Black Ambition funds you, you can go back to your community and you have everything that you need so that funding doesn't get wasted. Like, those are the things that happen in other communities that are, I would never say that they don't exist in Black communities. They can oftentimes be fragmented. So navigating that becomes more of a challenge than it is to just not do anything at all.
Okay. So you said churches. I'm like, as soon as you said that stuck with me. So
Yeah.
You said churches are the mecca for Black
Of
folks.
course.
So can you like what do you mean? Like, I
You
understood
tell me
everything
what you
else.
think I mean by that.
Okay, so I'm thinking like, okay, like if I go to church, I may find an investor or something like that. But I have a feeling that's not what you meant in that completely.
Mm-hmm. No, but that is what I meant, right? And so you got to think about it, right? There's all these different business environments and things like that, but there's one Baptist church in your community. So you have all these different kind of people of all walks of life meeting there every single Sunday. So it's a business community that exists, right? It's probably some of the best networking that you can do that is also spiritually aligned. And so, like, that's what I mean from that. You got teachers, you got doctors, you got lawyers that go to church on Sunday. You got investors, you got successful entrepreneurs, you got people that are just trying to figure it out. You got people that are home. Like, you have people that are all walks of life that are spiritually aligned on a Sunday. That's one part of it. The other part of it is Black churches own the largest amount of real estate in Black communities. And so those are wealth creating vehicles within itself. We have to look more expansive about what the actual resources are in our communities. And so you have the largest owner of land in our communities are Black churches. They're sitting on mountains of equity, land, right? So you have that, and then the convening power that exists within these institutions as well. And then, of course, the way that churches operate, right? Like they take care of people, they fund things, they, advocate for different things. Like these are all the ancillary things that churches do that people just don't think about the broad utility of it. And so that's what I mean by that, right? And so if you don't realize what you walk into every single Sunday, you don't take it for what it can be. And so that's it that exists within that too.
Yeah, that's beautiful because I've never heard it put like
Yeah.
that. And
Now you see it, right?
yeah,
Now
I
you
do.
see all
Yeah.
of it.
And also, so it's like you're like, where did you learn all of this? Like I know it's probably through years, but like,
Yeah.
where did it start? Like, what really sparked your? This is where I want to go. I want to make this first business. Then I'm gonna make this now.
Yeah. A lot of L's in life. And oh, I'm forgetting his name to give him credit. He always talks about you gotta know the difference between a little L and a big L. It has My dad has been an entrepreneur for over 30 years. My dad and my uncle own a construction and development company in my hometown, and like 45 minutes from here. My grandfather was a Jamaican sugarcane and yam farmer. He was actually an entrepreneur. We just never talked about him like that, right? Like he had a farm. He harvested yam, he harvested sugarcane, and then sold it every single day. My mother only ate what he killed, essentially, right? You understand that term. And so he was an entrepreneur. And that afforded my family certain things, not riches by any means, but like a home, and like my mom's tuition in Jamaica was always paid for.
So that sounds rich to me.
I
That's the
mean,
right type of richness.
riches in a lot of different things. It's not just
Yeah.
monetarily, right? And so I think sometimes for many of us, we do not fully understand the true power and value of what our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors have actually done for us. And so now I can look at it and be like, actually, there was a long history of entrepreneurship. I never grew up thinking of it that way. Even when my dad started his company, my dad and my uncle started the company, I never thought of my dad as an entrepreneur. All I knew is like he went out every single day, worked really long hours, and came home dirty every day. And as a kid, all I could remember is like he missed my basketball games. He wasn't here for that. As an adult, and my husband and I have 2 kids, I now fully, on the deepest level, understand every single sacrifice my parents ever made for my brother and I to now be able to have the luxury to be able to do what I do. And so it's that, right? It was a guidance counselor in high school who told me I'd never make it to a college or a university. And I set out to prove this woman wrong. I was a C student in high school. I wasn't dumb. I just don't like the classroom environment. But I'm a lifelong learner, right? And I set out to prove this woman wrong, and I won $130,000 in scholarships with a GPA that never touched a 3.0. And so in all of these processes, it taught me, one, there's more than one pathway to success. Two, how to market yourself even at a young age. Three, to understand like you got to define what your learning environment is, and then you got to define and design the life that you want. And then the last part of that is then you also have to become a vessel. And so everything that I have learned, all the mistakes, all the successes, now like all of those lead to me being able to build strategies for major global conglomerates, to be able to help build an organization that has funded 100 entrepreneurs, to build a 10,000 square foot co-working space in Overtown, to help like tons of entrepreneurs raise millions of dollars in capital. But I also know I'm just a vessel. So things come to me, they come through me, but they got to be in support of other people. And when you're like that, you'll never be for a lack of resources. You'll never be for a lack of ideas. You'll never be for a lack of anything, when you realize like that is the role that you play in support of any and everything and everyone.
That's so dope. So what university has the pleasure of saying you're an alumni?
Lynn University.
Lynn University,
Yeah.
that's out here?
Lynn University is in Boca Raton. I went there for 3 and something quarter years. I didn't graduate from Lynn, but that's the university I went to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So how do you well, so what brings you to Rap Snacks?
They invited me.
Damn,
So,
yeah, but like
yeah,
what?
they invited us, and also our entrepreneurs as well. And so, in the trade show, there's three of our companies that we've invested in, that are showcasing, and then they invited me, and I'm really looking forward to what else we are going to be able to do to be able to do together. We have a lot of, I mean, one of our investment verticals are CPG companies, and so we invest in quite a few of them. So we probably invest in actually more CPG companies than tech companies, but those are just two of the verticals in which we invest in. So I think, one of the things that we talk about with Black Ambition is like culture is an asset, and like you feel that when you're here, right? From the music to who the host is, to who the speakers are, to the products, to the core reason why we exist, like why this conference exists in the way that it does, and like that convening power of bringing like-minded people together with a mission of, like, I think in a lot of ways helping to build a massive brand, but then also being able to build all of these kind of seeds that come out of that massive brand that are consumer good products and services as well. It's just a beautiful thing to experience and to see.
Okay. So with that,
Mhm.
can I just get you to say, this is the Black Caliber podcast?
Sure. Into the camera.
Okay.
That's it.
This
Yeah. This is the Black Caliber podcast.
And thank you for coming, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, Mr. Jordan, was that good? You got what you needed?